This is the decompressed overlay distortion explanation and demonstration. The decompressed overlay distortion is the second kind of overlay distortion. It might be the opposite. It's the cousin of the compressed overlay distortion. The only difference is instead of creating noise in the vocal track by squeezing the twanger and narrowing the vocal track by twanging super hard, this time what we do is we actually kind of go the opposite direction. We decompress, we open the glottis, we bleed the glottis of respiration just a touch, and then increase the subglottal respiration pressure at the same time. So there's going to be a glottal bleed movement, right? And at that same time, pushing down and out into the obliques to increase the respiration pressure. If you get it timed and balanced at just the right way, then you can excite the ventricular folds or the false vocal folds. The false vocal folds are vocal folds that sit, they're appendages that sit right above the true vocal folds. The true vocal folds are the ones that we're using and talking about every day, the ones we're compressing when we twang, the ones that are in this program. But right above the true vocal folds are two fleshy appendages, kind of like the appendix. It's this thing that really has no practical use unless you want to sing or get some vocal distortion, I suppose. And they're benign. They don't do anything unless you increase the respiration pressure in the vocal tract. So if you increase the respiration pressure in the upper vocal tract, the ventricular folds will begin to rattle like a flag in the wind. When that happens, you get noise in the vocal tract, and then you get what I call decompressed overlay distortion. So decompressed overlay distortion is coming from respiration that's being balanced just right against a glottal bleed position. Decompressed overlay distortion is a little bit easier than the compressed overlay distortion for me. That might vary based on the individual, however. It has a workflow. The first step is engage an onset, no surprises there. Bridge the registers, bridge your passaggio, get to the head voice so that we can execute this distortion in a higher position. Achieve resonant placement, just like the compressed overlay distortion. Everything's the same so far. And then support or push down on the oblique muscles. And then here's the thing, step 6, that makes it a little different. I'm going to dampen or anchor my larynx and slightly modify my vowel, my vocal track to just a hint or a touch of ishness. When you modify to a little bit of ishness on this particular distortion effect, it tends to work. It tends to give you a pretty cool sound. So let's go ahead and give it a try. And I encourage you to take a look at these graphics. The graphics on this are really, really well done. Okay, you hear that? That's different than compressed. Compressed would be, just so you can hear them back to back, okay, decompressed, all right, let's try another one. We'll get a little higher. Cool. It's important that you recognize the ishness in this. Something about that vowel. I don't know exactly why that vowel gives us this kind of distortion, but it does. It helps. You don't have to tune in this vowel, but it really helps, especially when you're learning how. Hey. Now, just for contrast, here's a attack and release onside in the same position. I'll make it ish, but not distorted. Okay, same thing with distortion, more glottal bleed. Alright, so it has a lot to do with command and control of the glottis. Something we've talked a lot about already in the course. Just like the other previous distortion, make sure you're ready for this before you start doing it. I don't want you guys to hurt yourself. The key here is balancing subglottal respiration pressure, which you're going to push and kick out from it, down and out from the obliques, and try turning and twisting the vowel a little bit to and bleed the glottis, and you should be able to get something going. Now, where in your vocal range it activates and starts working, I can't tell you. That's very much an individual thing. That has a lot to do with your personal anatomy, the way your voice is made and set up. But again, I am available. If you have any questions, click the black button on the top that says Contact Course Teacher, and we'll talk about it. Or take a lesson with me. That's even a better idea. So I can be here while you train it. Let's go on to the next one.